Today is episode 80 of Manifest Mondays,
Jeez.
the Spot Network. I am DJ Zenas. I got my dog DG, and I got my dog Ramond with me.
Yes, sir.
And like I said, this is Spot Network, man. Manifest Mondays. We always manifest in each and every day, but specifically on Mondays. And today we're going to be talking about how much money is too much money. How much is too much, right? I think that's we could debate that for ages, right? And I think somebody always got something to say. And most people's opinion never align on this. I
Right.
think it's very subjective, right? So that being said, how much money do y'all think is too much money?
For me, for us, there.
You, you started off because I know you on the high end.
Bro, how much is too much money, man? Damn. That's a great question, bro. And I would say it all depends. For right now. Damn, how much is too much money, bro? Man, that's a hard one because I can't really give it. Damn, that's a hard ass question. Now, thinking about it, when we discussed when we were talking about that earlier, it seemed so easy. Now to actually think about it, like it's hard because I have to give a number.
Mhm.
How much is too much money? Then I would say, for me right now, I would say like 20 mil. It's solid. I'll
That's
be
like
good.
that's
Yeah,
like anything over that would just be extra. Is what you're saying. So like,
yeah. I mean, yeah. Anything over that would be extra. I mean, I'm on a little extreme, a little high end, but I would say like 20 would be solid right now.
20 is what
Yeah,
you need, like what you need or slash one. Or what is that too much? That's not the too much number. That's the what you
yeah. That's
aiming at.
I mean not right now, bro. I don't know. I mean, it depends because it's hard to like give a number for too much, bro. Because at the end
That
of the
is
day,
that's a hard.
yeah,
That's a
because if
It's
you
hard
got
it's
number.
20,
hard.
especially if you have vision to help other people, do more things, all that. But like, it's hard, man. I would say for me right now, 20 gonna get everything I need to get done. Pretty good right now. 20 for me. Yeah, 20.
Yeah,
Damn. Yeah.
I take a 20 piece. But nah, but I mean, yeah, that question's hard because that does rephrase it. Because I know we was
Yeah.
kind of talking about the concept, but like actually answering that question on how much is too much is hard, right?
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
do feel. I mean, of course we feel like I deserve it. Oh, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I, I
But I
agree.
mean, but I don't. I mean, I don't know. 100 million is a lot of money,
Yeah.
like a
For
lot
sure.
of money. You know what I'm saying? And I think just to even backtrack on like the reason we wanted to have this conversation is because there's almost like a plateau that we was talking about that you get with money to like you probably the difference between $0 and 1 million is everything, but the difference between 30 million and 31 million, there's no really difference at all.
Yeah.
Like, or even 30, 30 and 35. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a point where it kind of like, you know what I mean? It's just you just hitting a higher number. I guess you get a little more. Money is access, and then like there's a point that like nothing's really changing for a long time until you like big jumps probably.
Right.
Yeah.
Like there's not a jump between 30 and 40 is not big. Maybe 30 and 100 is, but there's just
Right.
like
Right.
what is the next level and like what is too much, like what I'm saying? What is that even really necessary? I feel like to start hitting some of those real numbers, like those crazy numbers, it almost requires like life, just like I don't know, the effort, just life, your whole life's purpose has to be to
Right.
do this thing and kind of cut everything out to even hit those numbers. And as we start talking about it, it's like, is that something that we actually even want to do? Like I really like I say it, I mean it. Everybody talks about they want a billion or whatever. I do not need $1 billion. A
Right.
billion dollars to me, that's for sure too much. If I know what I have to do to get it,
Right.
and like just the type of what I mean, things I'd have to do to get it with
Right.
my time versus $1 billion to me is too
Right. I
much.
agree.
Hmm.
Really, like like for a person to need $1 billion is wild.
Hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that to me. So I think that's my real answer
Right.
is probably that. A
Right.
billion, $1 billion is too much, man.
Right. I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I'll
I
have to agree to that.
absolutely agree. billionaires is just like in order to make $1 billion, I think at some point you probably have to make an unethical decision.
What about 800 mil? I was
Probably, right? Probably, yeah. I honestly think my number is my too much number is probably like 250. Anything over like 250 M's, it's just like, what do you need more money than that for? Like I think about it from my perspective, right? In the grandest scheme of things, if the Lord decides to bless me with just 250 M's, anything over that, I would just automatically donate anything over that amount. Like, there's
right,
no reason for me to still be accumulating money after $250 million. Like, I feel like with that amount of money, especially we talk about liquid cash,
right.
you could do whatever you want to in life with 250 M's.
So you're still gonna be collecting that 190 though, because you say you're still gonna collect more. So if you have 190 right now, you probably still want to get to like 200 and 250
I mean,
then.
even then, I probably like the difference from 190 to 250. Don't get me wrong, that's 60 mil, that's 60 M's. But still, even at that point, I'm just like, at that point, what am I even chasing at this point?
Right,
Right? Like, am I just trying to see the number be larger in my bank account? Like, am I just trying to check my Chase account and it be $400 million 2 years from now? What, what am I doing? Like, I feel
It's
like
just
that's
numbers at
really
that point.
it's just numbers at that point. Like it's
right,
literally just a number at that point. And you know that regardless of what the number is, you are
right,
good. Like I'm good. My family is good. My
right,
friends, like everyone is
right.
good forever.
Forever. Yeah,
So like what am I truly pursuing at that point? Anything over 250 M's, man. Honestly, to your point, even like 100 M's, like that's a lot of money. $100 million is a lot of money, man.
what
And
about 50 M's? Is it still a lot?
yeah, that's a lot of money. Do I think it's too much? Not necessarily.
Right,
It's a lot of money though. That's a lot of money. I wouldn't say that's like too much. I think when you start to cross, like when you start to get into like the hundreds of millions, that's when it's just like, all right, like not saying that like I'm not knocking anybody for wanting to like be a billionaire or
right.
whatever the case may be. It's just I just recognize for myself that's just too much damn money. I have nothing to be pursuing. At that point, I could get whatever I want and then some, and provide all my people with whatever they probably want and then some,
Right,
and still have plenty of money.
right,
So what are we doing?
right. I mean,
I,
I would
I,
say, go ahead, Ramon.
I was gonna tap be easy in, man. Shout out to he said with philanthropy and actually making a difference, I don't think there can be too much. And
Agree.
that's the truth, right? Right. I mean, it depends on how you actually looking at what you're doing with the money,
Yeah.
right? But then it becomes trusting that person that has $1 billion,
Right,
right? Are they donating more than anything over 250, or are they putting the money where they say it actually is? Is like you almost either it has to be like I don't know, just extreme purpose or
right,
or greed to be at some point. Right? I don't
right,
and I wouldn't say that I think every billionaire is greedy,
right,
but at some point it's either like I said, extreme purpose or greed. I think it
right,
just has to be one of the ones. Like you know what I mean? Like I don't know. I'm not even to hit on names, but like if you have I don't know 10 billion, you know what I mean? Like what could you actually be doing unless you're like really making changes in areas and like developing places and creating foundations and you know what I mean? So, but it's that thing. It's like with great power comes great responsibility,
right,
and I think that some of the people that do have that type of money maybe don't take on that responsibility though.
right,
They just like nah, we just running up score. It's not my job. I made the money. It's not my
right,
job to give any of it back.
Hmm.
Fair. That's a fair point, right? It's a fair point because because I gotta take the conversation here real quick. Is so many people like pocket watch other people that they're like, you should be doing this with your money, right?
right,
Right. But you can't tell a millionaire he should be donating hundred thousands of dollars if you have 10,000 and you don't donate anything, you don't even donate $5.
Right.
Hmm.
That's the thing is like I think it's just so much easier to be like, yo, y'all should be doing
Yeah.
this. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
I think there is probably like some duty that you should give back, but it's just not anybody's, position to
Right.
say how much or how or where it's at.
Right.
And you know what I mean? Because a lot of people only say I would be doing that and they're not doing anything now.
Yeah.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? You might not have a million, but you got $5 to donate to any cause or create something or you know
Hmm.
what I mean? Look out for somebody, and a lot of people don't do that. So it's
Yeah.
just tough, man. When we say too much, it kind of like it all comes down to the person and what they're actually trying to do with it. Like, cause like
Right.
what be easy said is right. Can it be too much if like there's a lot of people that have a bunch of money and do give it all
Right.
away? Like, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? In good places, and
Hmm.
in positive places. Is there too much for them to have? Maybe not.
Hmm.
You
Right.
know,
Right.
but just for me to sit on liquid in my accounts like that,
Yeah.
at a certain point, what are we doing? Like,
Right.
Like if all you're trying to do is just climb the ladder and climb the Forbes list to just be in the brackets of the Elon Musk and what it's fam, what are we doing?
That's my
What are
goal,
we doing?
bro. That's my goal. That's my
to,
purpose.
to be the world's wealthiest man? Like, all right, cool.
right,
Right. No, I agree though. But however, though, I think it's all relative, right? Because one might argue too. They're gonna be like, "Oh, you think 50 mil is a lot? Why do you want more than 50 mil when 50 mil can do everything that you ever think about in this world, right? Why do you want more than that?" So it's kind of like this argument. It becomes like it's hard because at the end of the day, other people have like different things they want to pursue in life, different goals and like Be Easy said, man, it's not really a number to really quantify. My only thing is about what are you doing when you have the money, right? Because to me, it doesn't matter how much you have. But if you just only focusing on that, you just want $1 billion because you just want to buy a bigger yacht or bigger homes and then all these things, then that become like a selfish reason. But if you want to like become rich to like give back, like Ramond talked about earlier, build schools and like give scholarship, it doesn't really matter how much you can acquire them. Then the more to me the better because that's a good person to have that money that want to do better in the world. But however, when it comes to success, like most people are just in it for themselves, especially at that level, right? It's not like, I want to give back. And we were having this conversation earlier. That's when you see like bigger corporations, they sometimes go in Africa and other places and then they just export people. They just like pay the bare minimum so they can just get way more out of it instead of just like paying an average wage and so those people out there can enrich their life. But they're like, no, no, no. I want to make more, so I'm going to pay you the bare minimum. I won't have you do all this work and labor, and then I'm going to reap the benefit. And for me, when you're looking at it from that perspective, then that's mostly greed
Yep.
because you don't need to like suffer other people and other people go through like like poverty for you to enrich yourself when you can like maybe all right pay them more and have a 50% profit margin instead of 90. I think that's kind of when I think about then that's being too much now because all you're just doing that just for you're not trying to give back. So that's when I have a problem with that. But
Hmm.
at the end of the day, man, there's no limit, especially when you have good intentions. Because the more you make, bro, like you can do a lot, especially for us right now, all the things, the vision, the things that we want to do. So I don't think like us having like Z worth 500 mil. I know he's not just gonna blow it up on cocaine and strippers. I know he's gonna do good things in the world. Same with me and you know what I'm saying? But other people, they're like, I'm just gonna buy all the cars. That's all
Hmm.
I care about. It's just gonna be me, me, me. But at the end of the day, you don't need all that for you, bro. When there are people outside your community that you can do so much better in the world, and they just sit home and just in your bank account, you just pile up all that money.
Yeah.
That's when it become a problem to me.
And I'm glad you mentioned that. You mentioned intention. I think that's what it's really about. Because
Yeah.
honestly, you see a lot of people, especially wealthy people, who do donate and whatnot. And I'm not saying that it's not coming from a sincere place. We all know how taxes work, right? Most people are using it as a tax write-off.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and granted, I think there's a point of being able to like leverage the system to your advantage. That's the whole point
Right.
of it, right? But I think there is the difference between giving out of like, oh, I'm going to get like reap the benefits of this, as opposed to just giving out of like the like just genuine like sincerity of like wanting to give, right? Like I genuinely don't want anything back from this. Think about recently. Was watching an interview, and Denzel, I don't know if y'all know this story, but Denzel was actually the silent donor who contributed to Chadwick Boseman, um, so that he could travel overseas to study acting. You know,
That's
like
awesome.
he could go to school, but the only way that you could do that that he could afford it is obviously with a donor. And Denzel Washington donated, but he didn't want his name associated. He was like, I don't. He didn't even know who it was. He was just like, I'm just giving
He's
my
like, this
money to
kid
just
special.
help somebody out. Yeah, like he didn't know it was Chadwick Boseman either. He didn't know. He was
Oh
just like, I
wow.
know that I'm giving my money because I just want to see somebody else like thrive. Ultimately, at the end of the day, come to find out, like years later,
Damn.
Chadwick Boseman like was, I forgot who told him, but somebody was like, oh yeah, that was Denzel that was your donor so that you could obviously go to school to pursue obviously like your education and now get you to the point of where you are now. And he actually pulled Denzel aside at one of their functions. They were there, I think it was an award show or something like that. They were there together and had a conversation about what that looked like and just like thanking him, obviously,
That's awesome.
you know, from the bottom of his heart. But it's just like, and Denzel broke down into tears, right? You know, he was like, I honestly had no idea, you know, right? Like I just knew that I just wanted to be of help. Um, and it's stories like that where it just reminds you that like, you know, kindness goes a long way, so much further than money does, right? You know,
Mhm.
and that's honestly what I think about a lot is to your point of like just the sincerity of it all is important. And so
Right.
I'm glad that you mentioned that because a lot of people don't do it with the genuineness and the sincerity in their heart. They do
Right.
it just because they know
Tax
that they're going to
benefit.
benefit from it. That's
Right.
it. That's it.
Right.
Do y'all think that not to switch it too hard, but do y'all think that everyone has like a duty to be given back? Or what's y'all take on that?
I would say yes, man. Yes, I agree. I'm a firm believer, man. I was just having this conversation with my dad earlier, and I was like, excuse me, when God put you in a position of power, whether it's like financial or whatever, the goal is to be able to like help people in need.
Hmm.
That's, I mean, that's the duty, man. Like people in need could be like your family, your friends, people that you care about. Because at the end of the day, just like if you can be that person to change your whole family life, be that person. Because at the end of the day, I just believe that the more you gave, there's going to be more going to be given back
Yeah,
to you. So I
yeah,
think we all have a duty, especially if you're in a position to help other people. If you don't have
absolutely.
it, that's different, right? Because if you're struggling, that's why you're in the airplane, put your oxygen max on first, right? But if you already have abundance, your cup is flowing over, man. Like, yeah, I think that's the duty to help people. You
Yeah,
don't have to help everyone, but at the end of the
yeah,
day, like, if you're a religious person, you can give back into the church, or you can like donate to whatever cause that you believe in. But I'll say that's our duty, man. It's
yeah,
not just all about me, me, me.
yeah.
Once you reach out the top, your community, bro. Like giving back doesn't always have to be in a monetary ways, right? You can give
Exactly.
back with knowledge. So many things you can do. But I believe when it comes to money, money can just do a lot more than just volunteering. Because like, imagine if I gave a charity like $50,000, right? That's a good cause instead of me just volunteering for like an hour. So I
Hmm.
think that's the duty, bro.
Absolutely.
Especially when God put you in that position for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think the whole purpose of us being on this earth is to uplift our the people around us, right? You
Hmm.
know, like um treat treat others how you want to be treated, I think, more than anything. Just at the end of the day, we've all been there. I think everyone's been someone who's been down bad on their luck, you know,
Facts.
and anyone can be humbled at any given moment. You could be at the top and be right at rock bottom, you know, like the next day. And
Facts.
just understanding that like how fragile and how just mortal we are, you know, I think it's it's honestly a disservice to ourselves and to, you know, the universe, to God, whatever it is that you believe in, or even if you don't believe, that's fine, you know, but it's truly a disservice to you if all you care about is yourself, right? You know,
Facts.
like the whole idea of purpose is how can I impact like other people in a positive way? How can I leave this
Facts.
earth ma- making it a better place than what I came into it, right? And a big way of how you can do that is by helping others, by
Hmm.
lending out a helping hand, you know. And I think to your point, you don't have to help everyone, right?
Facts.
Because if you try and help everyone, you will ultimately fail,
Right.
right? I think you have to be mindful of where you put your effort, your energy, your money, those types of things. You absolutely have to be mindful of those things. However, there's some cause in the world that you can find that I assure you that you care about. Of the countless charities, of the countless schools that you can go to, countless places you could volunteer at, I assure you, you can find a cause that you align with, and you can absolutely do something to make the world a better place. And to your point, DG, if the reason why people are rewarded and step into like situations of status and power is, is I'm not gonna say like necessarily like your purpose is to help other people, but if it's not, then like why?
Right.
I think really is like the bigger question. Like, it's not the why, it's the why not. Like, right? Like why would I not do this?
Right.
And so absolutely we have to give back.
Yeah.
I feel like yeah. I mean, there's not really too much to add from what y'all said there, man. I think that like you said, if everything at the end of your life is what you did was for self,
Right.
I just don't understand what type of life that is, man. Like, where do you even sit into the ecosystem if everything that you did was just for you?
Right.
Like, you did nothing else for anything around you. Like, it doesn't even make sense. So, I think we all do have some type of duty to give back. And I like how you put it, DG, is like, that's not always money. That could be time.
Hmm.
That could be just energy. That could just be knowledge. You know what I mean? A lot of people think that since they don't have money, they can't give back anything. And
Mhm.
Right.
they move like that. And that's, I have a problem with like when people always speak on what other people
Right.
should be doing
I
because
do
this
Facts.
too.
was money.
Facts.
And like I said, and it doesn't always have to be money.
Right.
But if like you're not doing anything for anybody outside of yourself, you can't really point your finger at somebody else and say what they're not doing.
Hmm.
Right.
The harder part is to figure out how much you can give back and who to give back to, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's probably the harder piece.
Yeah.
But it might not be as hard as we make it. Is because sometimes it's just who's around you. What
Right.
like Z said, what causes makes the most sense to you? What like resonate with you? I think a lot of people end up donating to causes that has affected their family in some way,
Hmm.
I
right?
agree.
Like whether it's like if someone in their family had cancer, sometimes they might donate to more
Right.
cancer
Right.
foundations, or you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
I think that's it. That's sometimes it's just a place to start. But man, there's always a cause that needs something.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I mean? And as you start to, and we talk about just building wealth and just ways to just win and grow a lot on this podcast that we do. And it just makes no sense to be building all that without
Right.
giving any of it back out. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Whether that's just games
Right.
sometimes, whether that's and then money as well
Right.
though.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's a piece of it,
No,
man.
it
So
feels
yeah.
good to give back, bro. Like to look on
It
other people's
does.
face, especially if they're going through a hardship, and then you bless them financially, bro. It just makes you, and it makes you feel good too. Because if you bless somebody, I feel good. All right, day I just made their day. I'm happy. My day is made too by making their day.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like a win-win
Absolutely.
situation. You help somebody like an older lady trying to like go to grocery bag. You grab her bag, you put it in the car. You're like, "Damn, I feel sore today." You know what I'm saying? And then she's happy. So little wins, bro, here and there. Just like I don't know, man. I just believe that yeah, money is good and everything, but it shouldn't just be the main factor we're just chasing in life, in life all day. Because I feel like sometimes we're so money focused, bro, and then we neglect the most important thing, our family,
Yeah.
friends, like, oh, I'm just chasing the bag. But you have great people and great friends that you care about, right? By the end of the day, now you don't want to be around them. And those are positive people. All you focusing on is just the money. The money. At the end of the day, bro, you can have all the money in the world. But if you don't have the right group of people around you, that means nothing. Because if someone offered me right now $1 billion and I can never keep my friends and family again, start over, I'm not gonna take that option. So that
Mm.
shows you that even though money is important, chasing success and all these external things. But at the end of the day, too, like relationship, the people in our life are important too. Those are the things that money cannot replace. Like
Mhm.
money cannot replace those things. So it's important as we are pursuing those things too. We should be mindful that making time for like the relationship that we have in our life, that we're not neglecting that just for the money purpose. Because you see people like be so focused on career growth,
Yep.
and then they don't even have time to spend with their kids.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, the or older, they don't even have that relationship. Yeah, you're wealthy, but now you and your son don't have a good relationship because when he was growing up, you were just so focusing on making more money. Then now reach to a point like, how much do you need when you already have 50 mil? Do you need to work an extra 8 hours at the office where you can go to your son's baseball game to make additional 10 mil a year? Like what's the balance now? Because at the end of the day, you don't need that extra 10 mil. You have family. Those other things are important. Those are things that I feel like money cannot replace. So it all
Absolutely.
become, like now you have to have a balance, figure out what it is that I really want in my life. But for me personally, man, like I was saying earlier, as I'm getting older, like yes, I'm pursuing all these things, but I want to make sure that I'm not just focusing on the grind and neglecting, the people around me. And also time just for myself, bro, to just sit back and not do anything. And it's important. We talk about grind, grind, grind all day, but what about sometimes just chill and replenish yourself, relax?
Yeah.
It's not just because we're not robot, bro. We're not designed to like just work all day behind computer and then look at computer screens all day.
Yeah.
It's not
Agree.
the life, bro. So we got to find other healthier measures for us to like still achieve the same goals, but make sure we still have quality people and family around us while we're doing these things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Man, I feel it, bro. And shout out to Be Easy. He said it's easy to lose yourself even at the level we are in now, probably especially now.
yeah,
That's a fact, right? Like we right at the stage of like, we're not none of us probably at a struggle level. Like
right.
our basic needs are for sure taken
Met
care of.
facts,
You know
Yep.
what I mean? Basic needs are met. And then it's like sometimes you can get so into a mode that you put the blinders on. We always talk about it, grind mode and tunnel vision and like locking in, this lock in season. That's true, right?
facts,
But these are the moments too that like just like we easy said, is you can get so tunnel vision that you forget that outside the tunnel there's shit going
right.
on.
There's also
You
like
know what I'm
sunshine.
saying? You, you know?
Facts.
There's things out there, man. So yeah, it's important to man just disconnect from those from that lock in at certain points too,
Yeah.
man. Whatever that looks like to you, man.
Yeah. And something that DG hit on earlier that I wanted to circle back to is chasing the bag, man. Everybody talks about chasing the bag nowadays. Everybody getting to the bag, securing the bag, chasing the bag, whatever it is. What does that even mean, right? What is chasing the bag? What is securing the bag? What does that mean to y'all?
Man, I would say first, it's just like a slogan of saying that most people just use it loosely. But most people who are actually saying that are not actually chasing the bag. If we're being honest, because I know a lot of people on their caption, I'm chasing the bag. I'm like, bro, you're not chasing no bag. I talk to you all the time. You do shit, no disrespect. But I feel like chasing the bag is like just going after what you want. I feel like the bag it could be anything to be in my opinion. It could be anything. But nowadays it's just associated with just with money, right? For me, like chasing the bag could be like personal development. Like I want to be better. I want to overall work on becoming a good person, right? So chasing the bag to me doesn't always apply to money, but now it just we just use that for money. So chasing the bag could just be like someone who just want to level up financially. You realize like you're not in the position that you want to be financially, and you want to level it up. So everything you're gonna do right now is gonna be all about money. So if it's not about money, don't call my phone. If you want to like bullshit and do anything else, don't call my phone. That's kind of like the chase in the bag mindset when most people think about it. However, like I said, my definition is a little different, right? Because chase in the bag for me, it just be like I'm just focusing on where I want to be. I just want to be a better man. I want to be a better friend. I'm just chasing the success bag. Whether that might be money, other personal growth. So for me, that's kind of like my philosophy when it comes to like the whole chase in the bag.
Yeah, I feel you because when I think of when I hear the term chasing bag, I always think it's money.
Right,
It's somebody
right,
chasing somebody looking to get that bag, you know what I'm saying? To get the bag, right? The bag, the coins, the dollars, the pesos, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what when I hear that word, I'm chasing the bag. But even when you break it down, it's like that you are you just running after money at that point, right?
right,
I almost honestly you could almost connect that to when we hear the word like
right,
hustle culture.
right.
It's almost they're almost
Mm-hmm.
it's the same thing, right? Chasing the bag, the hustle culture is kind of the same thing. It's like I'm chasing it. I'm trying to get to it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's not always a bad thing when you're trying to like level everything because a lot of
Fact.
times that can get you out the way and you can stand on your own, your 2 feet and start just kind of like progressing through life. But I think there's a difference between chasing the bag and being in my bag.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like, I think
Fact.
that's two different
Yeah.
things. And that's more kind of what you were saying, DG, is just how you moving at that point, like what
Right.
you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You remembering your people's birthday, little stuff sometimes, you know what I mean? Popping out, showing love to other people's
Right.
events sometimes, you know what I mean? And just really, I think that you could be in your bag without chasing your bag, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes.
Right.
But when you all the way in your bag, all that's in order, you know what I mean? That's all.
Fact.
It's all aligned at that point. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you could be chasing your bag and not in your bag. Like that's
Fact. That's true.
you know
Yeah. Facts.
you know what I'm saying.
Facts.
You know, so yeah,
Facts.
But I
that's
feel
how I
like
feel
most
about that.
people just be saying that though. Most people are not actually doing those things. It's just easier, right? Just cheers in the bag. It's a cool slogan, but most people are not actually like locked in like that. Like when it
Yeah,
comes to social media, but a lot of people just be fronting. We all done that before, but I feel like most people are not actually in the bag like that. They just be talking about it, cheers in the bag, and then going home and playing video games all day.
that's a fact.
But I
Mm-hmm.
like the way you broke it down though, like being in the bag and just in the bag, a little
Yeah.
different. Being in the bag, like you're already
Two
there now. You
completely
just gotta like,
different
right,
things.
right. I love that. What about you, Z?
What does chasing the bag
Yeah, it
mean?
means to you. Yeah,
There ain't a lot to add onto it beyond that, but I do agree. I think chasing the bag is what a lot of it's the hot term right
yeah.
now.
Right,
It's the cool thing to be chasing the bag, right?
right,
Like securing the bag, whatever it is. The bag is to be had. That's the cool thing to be doing right now. So um I think it's just another cool way of saying getting money, right? Um and to that point, think a lot of people are chasing it, but probably never going to catch it,
right,
right? They're never gonna actually secure the bag, which is crazy, right?
right. That's true.
Um, and to Ramon's point, I think it's better to be in your bag, right? Because regardless of how much money is in that bag or not, I'm here, like I'm in the bag,
Right.
right? Um, and I think it's about I almost look at it as like the scarce versus like abundant mindset, right? Like
Mm,
like I think scarce people are always chasing something that they're like in constant pursuit of that they're
that's
never
fact,
going to
bro.
catch.
That's facts.
Whereas when you think about something of abundance, you know that it's going to come to you. So why do I need
Right,
to chase the bag? I'm in my bag. I'm literally
right,
in it. So I
right.
know the
That's good.
money's going to come to me, right?
Right.
That's the difference between, a scarce and abundant mindset, right? Like I don't need to chase the bag.
Yeah.
The bag comes to me,
Attract,
because I'm in it.
attract the bag. Yeah, I love it.
Exactly.
I love the way you broke it down, bro. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
dope.
So I mean that's just the way I think about it, between chasing the bag and being in the bag.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, I
Shout out to
believe
V.
when
Real quick, I
shout out
just
to
want to
V
shout
in
out
the
to V.
building.
She said, how do I get the bag to chase me? That's real. That's
That's
it.
That's
it.
That's
fact.
That's
it,
it.
man. How do we attract the bag, like you said, DG?
No,
Yeah.
also, I think when you just chasing the bag, sometimes you're gonna compromise your value just to get to the bag. You're gonna cut corners.
Yeah.
You're gonna do all kinds of things because like you're not, if people like offer you some things that doesn't sit right with you, you might be inclined to do those things, right? So at the end of the day, you're gonna jeopardize your life, do all kinds of shitty shit just to get the bag. But like
Mhm.
V started talking about earlier, if you just attract the bag and become that person to create things, create businesses, legit businesses that attract the bag, now you ain't got to go and chase it because you have so much going on. It is easier to attract, those bags comes to you. So I like the way you guys like put a spin on that one too.
Man, there's something that we talked about earlier about just why the last piece I want to put on chasing the bag is something we talked about is how it could become like an identity trap
Mm,
to chase the bag, right?
Mhm.
Like you do something. We all do things, however we live our lives. We all do things to get money,
right,
right?
Yeah.
Because we have to live, right? But sometimes you could get so locked into whatever that is that becomes your identity.
Yep.
A lot of people ask, when you out, what's one of the big questions? What do you do? Yeah,
Yep.
right. When you tell them, and then that's kind of what you are.
right,
But that's really just sometimes that's just how you make money.
right,
It's not
Yeah.
what
right,
you are. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying? I'm not it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not this.
right,
I'm there so I could, provide
right.
and
That's
live.
true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and I think that's the difference between some people that like love love what they do, maybe, and then they're just there. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like some people like love to be doing what they're doing so much that they feel like they're proud to say like this is what I am.
Right.
This is, you know what I'm saying? Versus, and like I said, there's nothing wrong on either side, but like,
Right.
like
I agree. It's fact.
identifying with certain
Yeah.
things that you're not really, but you're there so you could, you know what I
Right.
mean? But we're in the culture that, like you said, like the hustle culture. We want to know what people's doing, what they up to, how they make money. That's
Right.
really like a way to say how do you make
Yeah.
money is the thing.
Yeah.
Right.
But we say what do you do, and people say where they work.
Right. Fact.
But it's more about like who are you is a different question
Right.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Completely different question.
And most people don't know the answer to that question, right? Most people don't know. They're always like, "Oh shit, what I do?" Right? So that's good because if you ask people, "What do you do?" They're gonna always talk about, "Oh, I work as an accountant. I
Yeah.
do this." I'm not asking that. Who are you? They don't even know yet. But that's true though. Because at the end of the day, I feel like that's society ways of like giving us value, right? Because the more if you someone reach out to you, who are you? Oh, I'm an investor. I have a business that make 30, 40 mil. Now to like push you on a certain status level. They treat you a little bit different. So
Hmm.
at the end of the day, and I can see the reason why that's our first, impression whenever people ask us to talk about what we're doing because now and then, oh
Mhm.
shit, he's the CEO of this company, he's a
Yeah.
VP. Now I gotta treat him a certain way, if I'm like, oh shit, I work at McDonald's. Now you're like, oh shit, you don't take me serious no more. You
Yeah.
don't give me that level, same treatment as before, like you treat the other one. So I think just how human beings are, we put more, time and energy into what people do and how much they make. So, and then when people ask her, like our ego is coming to play. Like we want to talk about,
That's it.
we want to
Mhm.
give
That's
ourselves a
it.
little more status. Like, I don't want to talk about I'm average. When someone asks me, I want to like, no, I'm above average. Like, I'm doing this. I'm
Yeah.
doing way better than what you think. So I call like more of like the ego thing to just tell other people how much we're doing, how much money we are able to make.
Absolutely. It's all about titles, man.
Hmm.
It's all about titles. Everybody's obsessed with a title, man. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
which makes sense though, because people treat you a little different based on that.
that's
Yeah.
it. 'Cause
Which is sad.
title equates to status, right?
Yeah.
So absolutely.
It was dope, man. I watched this dude, CEO Matty J, and we actually got to meet him at InvestFest. Shout out to CEO Matty
Yes,
J. But he
sir.
said something dope. He said something dope, man, because he got to like his level of financial freedom, right? So he says when people ask him what he does, he just tells them I'm retired.
Right.
Because then they have to ask, and he's like 34. You know what I'm saying? He's like, then they got to ask me a different question. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what you know what I mean? What did you do? How did you get there? Or
Right.
this just a different question? He's like, I'm retired though. I'm not talking about like a job thing because I don't work anywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, you
yeah.
could tell.
How?
You know, yes, yeah. So
Yeah, that's good.
yeah, I
What do
just
you?
I thought he was dope. It was dope when he said
Yeah.
that because it's kind of like when you take out the title of working anywhere, then what else? What you know what I mean? Where
Right.
can it go? So
What do you
yeah,
do? That's crazy. So, question for you guys: do you think like money makes you happy?
I think it's a piece of it
Okay.
for sure. Like for myself personally, I think when you have all of your necessities, like your, and whatnot in life, because to Ramon's point of what he said earlier, right? We have to exist. We still have to survive in this world, right?
Mm-hmm.
You, I can't be like I cannot live if I just made not a single other dollar for the rest of my life. Like, there's no way I would like live, right? Unless other people took care of me or whatever the case may be. And that's I'm big on that. Like anyone who knows me, I'm big on that ego thing. I won't just let somebody just take care of me for the rest of
Shit,
my life. That's crazy.
I would.
That's crazy.
Shit.
He said, where the sugar mamas at, man? But yeah, absolutely. Money contributes to like
Right.
your overall well-being
Fact.
in this world. So yes, I do think it does contribute to your happiness. Now, does it buy happiness? No.
Right.
But does it contribute? Absolutely. Money is what keeps a roof over my head. Money is what keeps food on my table. Money is what allows me to go out and enjoy time with my friends. Money is
Mm-hmm.
what allows me to go on a trip to Italy with my boy Ramon and V and J Rock here in a couple of weeks, right? It's money that allows us to do that,
Right.
right? Like without that, you wouldn't be able to have access to these things. So yeah, I absolutely do think that money contributes to happiness, but I think when your the root of your happiness falls like within money,
Right.
then no, no.
Cool.
Uh,
Dope, bro.
Yeah, I
I,
think
I,
that
I,
like
I like the way you explain that. You're gonna have a segment for that. We're gonna clip that one out. I like the way you explain it.
cut
That
that
was
one
dope.
mm,
up. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was yeah.
yeah, that
Keep
was
that
dope.
down, man.
Go ahead, Ramon.
Because
Sorry.
money to add to it, money is the tool, and it gets access to things, right?
yeah,
Right.
And it's funny when you said does money buy happiness? It's funny. I remember having a conversation with JT one time, right? And, and then he asked me. I was asking. He was like a lot of people are chasing happy, but what is happy? We had just got done with like a workout or something. He was like, are you happy right now? And I was like, I mean. Yeah, I'm usually pretty happy, you know. And he's like probably content, right? And I was like, that's probably more the word for right now. So happiness even isn't a consistent thing in life.
Right.
It's just because you still
facts.
gonna go through things. So it
Yeah,
don't matter how much money you got because happiness is like in spurts.
Right.
It's not even a straight line of happy. Like you could be overall a happy person
Right.
without a lot of money.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? But happy is like these little spurts and little moments that, I think money can buy contentness.
Right.
Is that what I do? I think it can like level you out and then make sure your needs are met and then your wants are met.
Right.
But then what we were talking about in this conversation is after a certain point, what is it actually buying, man? We was looking at this quote earlier and it said, after a certain point, money is just a way to keep
Right.
score. It stops buying happiness and starts costing you your peace.
Right.
that's it.
So that's
After
Bars.
a
dope.
certain, yeah, I thought that was hard when I heard it. I was like, after a certain point, what am I spending all my time trying to do?
Right.
Like, like what am I trying to do with it? I have access to everything. Money just is access.
Right.
You get your needs out the way first, and then a lot of people start working on their wants. But once you get most of your wants, then what? You know what I mean? And to be honest, super honest about like some of these people that get into like weird shit after a certain
Right.
point. I honestly think that's what partially it is. Is
Right.
like
Yep.
they didn't got all of they wants met, and then now they're just trying to get to that next
Right.
high of whatever that
Yep.
is. They
Bars.
didn't they didn't got all the things you can think of and
Right.
all the things they thought they wanted, and now they got to find new things to want
Right.
and try and shit. And
Right.
sometimes that could get really weird.
Right.
hmm
That does get really weird for a lot of people. We see this happen, and it's countless times where it happens. You know what I mean?
No.
So
That's a
after
bar.
a certain point, you know,
Uh, we, we,
Yeah.
we, we we gotta clip your part too. That was the bar. I don't know. I don't know if I could come after all that, bro. But one thing you said though, which I kind of like resonate with, you talk about after a certain point, it doesn't add any more value, And then that reminds me of when we talk economics, we a terminology I think it's called the law of diminishing marginal return, right? So let me just give an example for it. So let's say you bought a box of pizza. Your first slice is gonna be fire. Like you're hungry, you haven't eaten all day. Boom.
hmm
That's gonna bring you so much satisfaction. The first one. The second one is not gonna be as good as the first one. The third one now it starts to
Yeah.
diminish because you're starting to get full.
Facts.
Then over time, and then let's say if you eat the entire box, probably like food coma, you don't feel as great. And then if you order a second box, now it's not as good as the first slice. And that's kind of like
mm,
what you talked about earlier. After a certain point, that happiness, that satisfaction that you get from making that extra 10 mil, 20 mil, it doesn't excite you no more because
Exactly.
at the end of the day, it's like pretty much the same. The first 10, it's like you're like, damn, I can't believe I have this 50, whoo. But not 80, you're like, then now, like you said, now what am I doing now? There are other people look for other things to give them that excitement as the first
Absolutely.
slice. And like
mhm,
you said, man, that's why people start doing all kinds of shit. And I just
mhm.
wanted to add to that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Because just like you pointed out earlier, studies show that happiness plateaus after 75K to 100K a year. Anything over that, there's still obviously like tears of happiness
Right.
probably after 100K, right? Like I'm sure there's probably still a lot of things, but it's just, like we said, is there such thing as too much money? It probably is. When you start to get like up into like the 10, 20 million and whatnot and really can like afford whatever it is that you probably in your right mind can think that you want. Um, At least that's realistic, right? I'm not saying go and buy a $47 million crib, right? I'm not saying that. But anything that's within reason, right? When like I said, when your happiness starts to fall in like reliance of what money can buy you, right? Like I'm going to buy this house, this $47 million house, because I know it's going to make me happy when I buy
Right,
it. That's
exactly.
that's where you're setting yourself up for failure, right?
Uh,
Because now you think that you're going to get to this like finish line,
right,
because of this thing that you checked off, this box that you checked off, right? But that's not what's going to provide you happiness. You have to make yourself happy. You
right,
you have to be able to look in the mirror every day and be like, yo, I love
right,
myself. I love my life. I love my people.
right,
I love this world that we live in, whatever the case may be. You ultimately have to believe that, and you have to make yourself happy. That whatever money can buy you isn't going to make you
right,
happy. And I feel like that's where a lot of wealthy people fall,
right,
is because they're trying to overcompensate for something, right?
right.
They aren't happy. They are empty inside. So they think that like all this
They
money
feel the void.
is gonna
Definitely.
afford them what it is that they want, which they think is happiness.
Right.
Right? Um, and I forgot like who said it. I forgot where I saw it, but like it was like wealthy people, rich people would rather commit suicide than be broke again.
Yeah,
And
for
that
sure.
is true, right?
Yes.
Because it's just like it's the idea of doing it is just of being broke again is crazy, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like,
But do you
but
think
you're
that's
so
because they worth is tied to money so much at that point?
That too. All that
absolutely,
plays. Yeah, all that too.
absolutely,
And then
absolutely.
just the fact that being at the
Their
bottom.
identity is tied to their to wherever they are notched on that Forbes list. That's what
Right.
their identity is tied to.
Right.
Absolutely. So yes,
Yeah. And then they lose it all. They're like, I have nothing else to look forward to now.
yeah,
Life is over. I don't have to mention no more. I
Yeah.
foreclosed. I filed bankruptcy, so now I gotta like. It's crazy though. Z, you made a really good point, man. Like the void. For me, I feel like at the end of the day, money really doesn't really change your happiness level. If you're a happy person, I believe overall money is gonna make you happy because you already been a happy person. Like for me right now, if you give me 20 million, I want to be happy because I always been a happy person with little, right? Because I feel like I don't have anything else that like like a void or something is missing in my life. But at the end of the day, like if there's a void and you feel like something is missing, you're like an unhappy person. And if you got money, bro, it's not really gonna do anything because at the end of the day, you're
mhm,
gonna be like, I have all this money, but I don't have really good, genuine people to enjoy this money with. Even though you can fly to Paris and do all those things, but the fact that you don't have that friend that was with you before you had the money, it makes you realize that I don't even trust these people that that I come in contact with. I don't even know if they're here for me or not. So at the end of the day, like you are not happy because you don't have like those people that actually love you for you before the money. So at the end of the day, that's when you see, I believe, when people are like rich and have everything rich and famous, you're like, why they kill themselves, right? Because I believe there's a void, there's something missing. Even though they have all the money and the fame, but to them it wasn't enough. There's like a little thing that's missing. So money overall, I think Ramon mentioned that earlier, it doesn't really make you happy or unhappy. It's just like a tool to just use to like better your life. So at the end of the day, like happiness is not just gonna be constant, right? Someday, like you're happy today, the next day you're sad. It's like go up like
yep,
waves, right? So at the end of the day, money doesn't really change that. But however, money can like for us right now, I think most of our problems right now is mostly financially. So 20 mil right now, like I'll be in a whole different I'll be happier than what I'm in right now because most of my problems right now, God bless me. Luckily, I don't have any like complicated health issues or anything like that.
yeah,
So all my problems like paying bills and debt. So if you give me 20 million, I feel like I'll be more happier because I'm like
absolutely,
a happy person. So at the end of the day, yeah, it just depends on who you are. That's my take on that.
yeah,
Okay.
agree,
That's a fact, man.
Yeah, I know we're getting close to time, so I might be leaving here a little early.
yeah.
Anything else y'all want to add, or you just want to like get into like the would you rather?
Any final
It's a good spot.
thoughts before we get into it?
I think we hit a bunch, bro. I really do, man. It like and you got to have these conversations sometimes because it's sometimes when you just in those the tunnel vision. Like I said, I don't know what it feels like to be on the other side of Manifest Monday, but
Right,
sometimes when I'm just sitting in it, just chopping, like sometimes you just got to have these conversations to kind of just shift your mind to
Yeah,
like
right,
remind yourself like we are all grinding and we all getting to it, and you know what I'm saying, and that is dope, man. But remember though, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's more to life. You know what I mean?
Right. I agree,
So,
man. And that's something I've been doing lately, bro. Like, like I've been making time to do other things that I enjoy instead of just the grind. Because I know man, it's not just about money, right? It's not just about just, grinding all day because you want to get rich or you want to do something. Yeah, you can, and I believe, man, you can still grind and still do little things and still enjoy your life, right? You can find happiness in all the little things. Like go outside for a walk. If you be in the office all day, like just go outside and get some sunshine a little bit.
mm,
It shouldn't just be about grind, grind, grind. You want to save every dollar because you want to invest in that 401k. Sometimes take yourself to lunch. Buy yourself nice thing here and there. Like
Yeah.
enjoy your fruit of the labor. And that's what I'm doing. Don't be crazy in doing that, but like take time to just treat yourself a little bit, bro.
Hmm.
And
mm,
that's kind of like my mindset lately.
that's a
That's
fact.
it. That's it.
Shout out to Didi real quick, man. He said money doesn't buy you happiness. It's your heart that brings true joy. Many have wealth but still feel empty inside. Real happiness comes from within. Come on, man.
That's
Absolutely.
that's
Talk
fact.
to him,
Absolutely.
Didi. That's a fact, man.
And one
That's a
thing I
fact.
will
You
say,
you can feel it in people too.
yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Like, one thing that I feel is like, whenever we have these conversations, I'm always happy. Like, I'm always happy, like, you know, when I'm with my dogs, when I'm with my people, right? I think that's like honestly some of the moments when I feel my happiest, right? So um, whatever it is that makes you happy, I forgot. It was your boy DG who said, uh,
Tyler, huh?
do fun shit with your people, or I forgot what he
Right,
said, something along
Do
those lines.
do hard shit with quality people.
right,
That's it. That's
right,
it. That's
right.
it. That's where you find true
That's
happiness.
how you live a fulfilling
Yeah,
life
that's
for
how you
sure.
live a fulfilling life, man. So,
Right.
that's what I'm gonna say. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this Would You Rather, man. So y'all know that what time it is. It is time to put y'all on the spot. This is the Spot Network. At the end of every separate episode, we're gonna put y'all on the spot, and we're gonna do that by asking you a would you rather question, this or that. And it's typically gonna lead to controversy, potentially spark some debate. We might be here for another 17 minutes talking about this, but that's okay. That's the whole point of it. So today's would you rather question is because we've been talking about wealth, right? And how much money is too much. Whatever you envision that number to be too much, right? For the sake of this particular question, we're gonna say the too much, I'm gonna put my number on it, $250 million.
Mm,
All right.
I like that.
So $250 million. All right. You have access to $250 million. Would you rather be in a position to where it's given to you and you can gift it to others, but not be able to keep a single dollar, or keep the $250 million for yourself, but never be able to spend it on anyone but yourself?
That's not
So I'm
that.
gonna ask. I'm gonna ask this question again. Would you rather $250 million in your bank account right now? You can donate it and not be able to keep a single dollar, or you could keep the $250 million, but not be able to spend it on anyone but yourself. At any given moment, you could never spend it on your mom, your family, your friends. Like, no, you could only spend it on yourself.
So, so before I answer that question, so let's say if I bought a house, can they like come and visit? I mean, I'm sure it's on me, right? It's not.
You
Is
about
it?
to, Diamond about to take the money.
I just want to know.
Diamond about to take the
I
money.
I just
they,
want to
they, they
know.
can they can come visit. They can come visit, but they can't live with
Oh
you.
yeah, that's
or,
fine.
or spend the night.
Nah, that nah. You can't do me like that. You can't do me
They
like
can't
that.
spend the
So
night, bro. Nah.
Nah.
I'm going to ask that question again. You got $250 million access to it right now. Like, you look in your bank account, you can either donate it and not keep a single dollar. You only get one option, one or two options. You either donate it, don't keep a single dollar. You keep all of it and can't spend it on anyone but yourself.
But that's what I'm saying. If y'all answer my question the correct way, then I'm gonna make that decision.
Yeah, you can't be. There's no really loopholes, bro. They can't be
There's
spending.
no
They can't be.
loopholes.
You can't buy the boat out and everybody come
No, no,
on the boat.
no.
It's not. You can't.
I'm not
You
spending on nobody though. It's on me. It's like saying I can't have friends. They give me that option. Then then
No,
that's
you
not
can, but you just have to go where they're at. They can't do the rich thing with you.
yeah, that's hard then. That's hard.
You can't spend no money on them.
But I'm
They
not.
can't be involved with none of the
But my
things.
house is my house. I'm not spending my house on. They're not I bought a fix. What?
They can come visit.
Yeah, they can
That's
come
the only thing.
visit.
They
But
can't live with you.
yeah, they can't live with you, and with experiences that you buy. So that's the one. I will give you that.
Right.
That's the one thing you can do. You could buy a player ass house, and they could come. They could come visit you, but they can't never spend the night. So wherever they at, they gotta leave.
Okay.
And you can't. It ain't no experiences where you could just buy it and everybody can come with you all the time. We're not doing that.
Mm-mm.
Right.
You can't
Mm-mm.
spend it on people.
You
So
can't spend
you
it on
only spend it
nobody
on
else but
yourself. Yeah.
yourself.
All right. Let's see. So
If you go out to dinner with your family, they still got to pay.
They gotta pay.
You can't pay for nobody but yourself.
Yeah.
shit. Give me my money. Just give me
No
my
way.
money.
Yeah, right. I know you lying. I know you lying. I
He
know
said
you fucking
250
lying,
M's.
bro.
He said, wait, 250 M's? Give me that shit, man.
I'm gonna be the friend they're gonna be mad at, bro. That damn DG got a $50 million house, like he don't give her
Ain't no
nothing.
way. Ain't no way you being serious, bro.
Yeah, I'm thinking about 250 M. Give me my money.
Yo, that's crazy. That's
Give me my money.
crazy,
Oh
bro.
my gosh.
That is crazy.
I conquered the area. I'm gonna be in my bag. Just give me my money.
See, you chasing the bag, bro. You not in your bag. You
And
chasing
nothing.
your bag, bro.
I'm just in my bag. Yeah.
But
Give me the
the
250
thing
M.
is, so Z, my follow up question to the other side is, because I'm 100,000%. I'm with V. I'm with Tina on there. I'm giving the money away. It's not even a question. But like, can I go then at that point I can go make my own money some other way,
Yeah,
right? Like
absolutely.
I can still go get to it however I get to it,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Yeah, bro. It ain't even no question, bro. What's the point? 250? What's the point of not being able to bless my people? You know how many people you could be able to bless?
Shit,
I even if they
they're
couldn't,
gonna figure it out.
even if they couldn't spend it back on me, bro, I'll figure me out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get my people together, man. It's not a question. To be honest, this is one of the easiest would you rather's ever to me. Like
Yeah,
it's not even close, bro.
yeah,
Like
I'm taking
you know
all
what I'm
my
saying?
I'm taking
Yeah.
all my money, every one of them. Don't ask me for nothing. I
Shout
work
out to
hard for
Shout out to
this.
Candy. She said, "Give it away. Those that I give it to will ultimately give back to me in a way that I will benefit to." That's a fact.
That's it.
All
That's
right,
a fact.
all
And
right.
even
That's
if
it.
they did, man, it's like I would
Yeah.
rather bless them than just get it for myself. You know
I
what I'm
feel
saying?
better.
You got to give it to a crackhead though.
There you go.
No,
You
you
can.
don't.
You can. You can.
You got to give it
You
to a
can.
crackhead.
You can if
That's
you
what I'm
want to.
saying. Yeah, you got to be a crackhead. Like so, who's gonna know?
That you can't put parameters on who you can give
Yeah.
it to.
Or if y'all gonna say I can't have my family over and spend the night, I'm gonna pick who y'all gonna give it to too. It gotta be a crackhead
Because
too.
Nah,
you can't,
hell no. You can't pick
you
who.
try to work the system. Nah, that's not how that should work.
But nah, y'all can just give it to a foundation. I want to kill cancer. Nah, you gotta give it to a crackhead, knowing that he gonna blow it up.
Nah,
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 nah.
But
nah,
then,
nah.
That's a
hey,
crazy.
That's not
I'm gonna
nah.
have my family over there. Y'all can stop me. How you gonna come over to my house and kick them out? With my mansion, I got security
Yeah,
guards. Y'all gonna
yeah.
come and break into my
Yeah,
house?
that's the stipulation, brother. That's the stipulation. You know what I'm saying? After
Nah,
7 p.m., they got to be
nah,
out of there.
y'all gonna bring the squad, the cops to get him out of there. You gotta give it to a
Yeah, bro.
crackhead. You gotta give it
I'm
to a
giving it.
crackhead.
Nah, bro. That's not even a good switch. A lot of times we do good switches. I'm not even entertaining that, bro. Nah,
Well, my family gotta come over there.
I'm not entertaining that, brother.
All right, man. My family gonna come over there. I don't care, bro. I'm gonna break the law. I'm gonna have my peace over. Y'all can come to the crib. Y'all can spend the night in the mansion. We balling out.
Nah,
Nah,
Didi.
nah.
Nah, Didi.
Didi's
Nah,
trying to
you.
cheat, man.
No.
You can't. You got to give it all away. All $250 million. You got to give it
It's
all
all or
away.
nothing,
It's
bro.
all or
Every
nothing.
dollar, brother.
It's all or
Every dollar.
nothing. See,
Every dollar, bro. It
he
ain't that. You trying to play both sides, man? Nah.
he try to play. He try to be like DG. I'm like, nah, man. That's not how that
Come on,
works,
man.
man. You
Yeah.
can't have both. It's all or nothing.
Yeah, man. Nah.
You either
You
give it
trying to
all
get.
away or you keep it all, but can't do nothing with it.
No.
But spend it on yourself.
Come on, man.
You could have a lot of like treat yourself. moments. You could have plenty of those. You could do whatever you want. You could treat yourself to whatever it is. You just can't treat nobody else.
Your
I'm just gonna like how
life would
much.
be boring, bro. Your life would be boring, DG. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just gonna be like, how much for that car? I'm just gonna be buying random shit and just like, all right, give me that, buy that shit. Just gonna
I
buy shit.
I'll even give you this, DG, just to make it fair. I think this is a fair one. If we spend it on them, we can't do none of the stuff they spend it on with them. We just got to give it to them.
Mm.
I think that's more fair.
Yeah,
We got to give it to them, and then whatever they spend money on, it's not like we could just, oh, they buy a house and I'm over there every day. Nah, we can't deal with their money. You know what I'm saying? I think that's more of a fair one.
yeah.
And even then, I'm still picking that, bro.
Nah, I still for me, I'm thinking about 250 mil. My family's gonna come over.
That's crazy, bro.
Y'all ain't gonna change my answer. Y'all try like y'all trying to use logic over here. DG, think about other people. Nah, I'm giving my damn money.
That's crazy, bro.
But you were the one who even said earlier, we are put here on this earth to give
All
to
that shit you
others.
said earlier.
All that shit you were saying. How you
Nah,
gonna go back on your word? You literally we we gotta put this as a
for
segment. We gotta go
real.
the before and after.
After
He was over here talking all that
I
shit.
need my money, man. I need
Yeah,
my money. Cause
that's crazy.
He was talking
Yeah,
all
we got it.
that shit about giving, and it's our duty to give.
fact,
It's our,
fact. It's
He
our duty
said
to
it's our
give.
duty to give.
Fact,
And
fact. It's
it's
our
our
then
duty to
duty to
give.
give.
he
But
turned
not
to
this 250 though. Not this
This
250
250 is
million.
all to me, bro. All to me. Nobody else. I'm sorry, mama. I never meant to hurt you. Never meant to make you.
I'm sorry,
Nah,
auntie.
nah, man. Nah, bro. For real though, like all jokes aside, I was just because we all can't agree, man. I would say for enough
I
to know
knew,
if I
I
can't
know,
spend on anyone else.
yeah, I know.
If we can't spend it, if y'all gonna say if I can spend on other people, my family, then I would have picked that option. But the fact that like I can't really spend on anyone else, then I don't need it because it's not gonna be fun. I'm just gonna be by myself. Like
Yeah,
yeah.
I
But then
knew.
we all
Yeah,
can
I knew you.
we
I
all
knew you
can
was just horsing
disagree.
around.
We
I
all
knew
can
you. Yeah, I
agree.
knew. It wasn't. That wasn't
But cause
polarizing
no,
enough. I feel like,
if you
yeah,
would have said I can, my friends and family can come over, experience on me. I don't have to give it to them. Then I'm picking an option,
Mhm.
easy. Because I was like, I can like take my family out. Like I don't have to give them physical cash, but I can do everything. Like
and they
they experience. Like
could do it with you.
Yeah,
I would take that in a heartbeat. But the fact that you said no one can can be part of that experience, come over to my house and leave by 7 p.m. and stuff like that. The end of the night, just like it's just all me, bro. So it's just like it's gonna be lonely because even your wife, you can't even do anything for her. Like
Yeah,
knowing
that's
that
crazy.
she's like struggling, she got health issues, and you can't even pay her hospital bill. Like, what's the purpose of doing that? But if you say you can do, you know what I'm saying? But if my friends and family can come over, man, nah, I'm taking the option for sure.
I think DD taking the 250 million.
all right, all right, all right.
Give
So
it.
I'll give you this.
Yeah.
Yo, people can come over. They can stay one night. That's it, just
Nah,
one
nah.
night.
Do this. What about if he gets 10 people that can spend it with him, but all you and the other 10 can't spend it on nobody else?
Yes, yes.
You taking
Don't
that?
even answer that. Yes. Oh yeah, I'm taking that easy. Oh yeah, I could 10 people. That's easy, easy.
Easy.
Yeah, easy.
It's still not,
Not easy.
not easy to me.
For me, not that easy now. If I have 10 people, I
But
can
it
spend it
makes
with. Yeah.
you think more
No,
though,
yeah,
huh?
it
It does make you think
does.
more.
But just me, bro. Like, nah, man.
Give me that motherfucker 250 million, boy.
Yeah.
If I get 10 people I can spend it with, hell yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
But all y'all can't spend. Y'all can only spend it on yourselves though. Like
10 people is fine. Yeah.
none of them could carry it out, and it's just like y'all 11 have to spend the
But
250
we
down.
could be outside though.
Yeah.
We could be outside.
Yeah,
Yeah. 10.
but just y'all 11.
Yeah. I'm taking that.
I'm taking
I'm taking that for
that.
sure. It's easy.
I'm
But yeah,
taking
man.
that.
I feel like it's hard because I ended now. In the first scenario, just me, bro. Like. I can't spend on my wife, bro, my mom, like just me, like if you say my family, I can do things for them, then I would take that. But like knowing that like, just me, that's like pretty selfish. I won't have fun,
You
bro.
see what I'm saying? I'm
Everybody's
like
switching on
10
the
people.
10 people.
I'm definitely yes. 10
What
is
about
too
you,
many.
Ramon?
10 is too many. If you would have said like
Five,
four,
five.
4 or 5, then I'm like, that might be a little bit harder. But still, me and them 5 people are up though.
What about you, Ramon? 10, you taking it? 10 people?
I, I don't know, bro. Because I mean, 10 gets that number's like up fast.
Sorry.
Y'all not thinking this through.
Oh, they're gonna get the lift
Your
in the house.
grandkids, there's y'all got the 10 y'all picked, and then
Yeah, it's okay. My kids will be all
10,
right.
10 is a little bit a lot, but I'd have to really think about the 10. 5, I would definitely be on the side of still giving it away. 10 is I'd almost
E-
I'd almost
Even
I'm
five,
gonna stay on the side of giving it away anyway because I
even
can still
five,
give it to
five. I'm
more
not
than
giving it
10.
away. Five, I'm
Yeah,
taking it.
yeah,
Five
yeah,
people, I'm taking it,
yeah.
bro.
Even with 10, I'm giving it. I'm still on the give it away side. I'm still on the give it
Five,
away
I'm
side.
taking it. The only
Taking
way
it.
I'm not taking it if it's just me. If it's just me, then I'm not taking it, right? But five people, yeah, I'm taking it, bro.
I'm over there with DG.
Yeah.
Give me my money.
Yeah. Now we on different sides, man. You know
now,
what I'm saying?
now I want to go back to my original answer. Give me my, give me my 250 mil, man. Fuck everything I said earlier. Give me my 250 mil, man.
Hey man,
Everything I was saying earlier,
okay.
I'll give my 250 mil. I'm gonna figure this life by myself. I came into this war by myself. I'm gonna leave by myself. I don't need no friends. Give me my 250 mil. F all what I said earlier.
Hey man.
All right, fellas.
All right, y'all. We
All right, y'all.
appreciate y'all tapping in. Be sure to follow us at the Spot Network Official on all socials. We'll see y'all next Monday. Make sure to have a blessed and manifested Monday, or really just week, just in general. We'll see y'all next
All
time.
right, fellas.
All right, y'all.
Peace, man.
I'll be